What is up, ladies and gents? In today's video, I'm going to be talking all about Crow and why I'm particularly excited for Crow in 2025. That means I'll be giving you my shorter term price predictions here on Crow, as well as my long-term price target for Crow in 2025. So be sure to stay tuned for all of that. Of course, if you're looking for a place to buy and trade Crow, then look no further than the MEX exchange. Of course, they have some of the lowest fees on the market. They don't require KYC to get started. And if you click in the link in the description down below, for a limited time, they're offering a $20 bonus for people that sign up. So of course, all you have to do is fill out your details here, press sign up, deposit some money, and then you can claim that $20 bonus. So of course, guys, thank you so much for supporting this channel. Let's get started on this video. So Crow, another one of the coins that I particularly love because of its potential to pump just like it did at the start of November. This was absolutely nuts here on Crow. You know, it's one of those things that just seem to pop out of nowhere, along with the other coins that I talk about on this channel, XRP and ADA being two very good examples. You know, it really has the potential to just rocket up like this at any given time, and this is what we really want to see in the bull market. Of course, at the moment we're in 2025 and things are looking particularly good. If you have a look at CoinGlass, for example, and the Bitcoin monthly returns, quarter one is never a period to fade. At 2024 last year, every single month of quarter one was green. Same goes for 2023. The last bull market in 2021, we had 3 consecutive green months. 2017, the previous bull market before that, was a bit of a mixed bag, but we saw a very green February there. And of course, the rest of the year turned out to be a very good year as well. And in 2013, quarter one again delivered beyond belief. So quarter one 2025 is bullish season now. I do believe people who are bulls are definitely going to get rewarded more than people who are bears, and Crow is no different. At the moment, on the shorter term, I do believe we could be seeing, on the shorter term, obviously what we've seen here on Crow is pretty nice. We've started 2025 with a bang. So of course, happy new year to all of you. If you're holding Crow, then this is a nice little relief pump that we've seen here. At the bigger picture, we're probably sitting in a consolidation that looks a little bit like this still. So we have a very strong support here on Crow. As you can see, 3 times we've come down to this line pretty perfectly, and it's been held every single time. In fact, that's 4 times there because we've had double touch over the past few days. And for a resistance, it's a little bit more tricky to see what exactly it is, but we could be potentially seeing some sort of bull flag via this. Obviously, this is a bit of a stretch, so maybe we're seeing more of a falling wedge or some sort of triangle pattern via this as well. Obviously, the second of these is also not that great. We see this candle pop above and then dip down below. So we have a kind of weak resistance going across like this. However, we've seen the price touch it a few times, so it could be in play. Obviously, I'm telling you this as well because the price, as you can see right now, looks to be on this resistance exactly. So if we do see a breakout, continued momentum in the upwards direction over the next few days, then we could potentially see a nice little price target come from this. That is a 63% trade, so definitely not one to be missed if this does continue to go upwards, taking it to 25 cents there. However, at the same time, I'm not giving this one too much conviction just because we saw this price here back over here where it didn't really respect this resistance line. So 50-50 really, in my opinion, but I'm keeping an eye out anyway to see what happens over the next few hours and days there. The other one is this bull flag, which has a much bigger price target if it's going to be in play. It definitely could be, considering the fact that we have this resistance connected by 2 spots up here and the support, and they're roughly parallel as well. So if we do see a breakout from that bull flag, so let's say we see something like this, in fact we do go towards 25 cents like this, for example, then this would give me more conviction in this greater pattern playing out. And of course, this would have a really, really huge price target if it's going to be respected. Again, Bit of a questionable one to see if it does happen, but if it does, this could take the price of Crow particularly high there. If we say breakout at the end of January, we're looking at a 45 cents price target. So 101% trade from the breakout at around the 23 cents mark. So of course, from where we are right now, that's nearly basically a 3x from where we are right now. So really exciting. Of course, like I say, we want to see this pump from we want to see this upper resistance tested a few more times before this actually is going to be in play. Now, of course, another scenario that I'm closely monitoring here on Crow as well is something that I've mentioned here a bit in my previous videos. But basically on Crow, it does have a tendency for the price to repeat itself. And what I'm noticing now is something that I see, that I also see back in 2020 and 2021. Is when we pump sharply like this, generally we tend to consolidate or just drop down a little bit in general. So, you know, we pumped basically 3-4x there at the start of November and December. And of course, right now, consolidating in a little bit of a downwards trend. There's a little bit of a negative momentum, as we can see here on Crow. Basically, get the MACD out, and you guys can. We also are about to see a crossover as well. So if we do see that crossover here over the next few days, taking it from bearish to bullish, then maybe we see the result of that falling wedge that I stated earlier with this sort of resistance on there. So definitely keep your eye out for that. That is actually a good point that I should have mentioned earlier, that we have this conviction now we have a bit more proof now that we could see this falling wedge play out, taking it to 25 cents here in the near term, a 50% trade, because we could be seeing this crossover going from bearish to bullish on the 1-day chart. This is a strong buy signal here on the MACD once this completes with a crossover. So really exciting, actually. That's a very good one to monitor as well. But basically, if that fails, then what I also notice here on Crow is that if you have a look back at the start of 2021, for example, what I was describing was that when we see this huge pump in price here, we generally get a period of consolidation here on Crow. It's not particularly a very clear one, but we generally saw something that looked a little bit like this, a little triangle formation before a subsequent dump in price. And obviously this dump was quite a quick one. We saw a general bowl shape here where the prices were kind of steady. There was some buying pressure, there was some selling pressure before we saw this gradual climb and then the next parabolic move up. And of course, this is characteristic here for Crow. And of course, this happens again at the start of 2024, exactly the same thing with the same setup here. One parabolic move in the upwards direction. We saw a period of consolidation, a little bit clearer this time. We saw quite a nice triangle, a subsequent dump from that triangle there. You know, as I said, we saw quite a sharp drop, a period of steady buying, some buying pressure, some selling pressure, a steady upwards rise, and then a parabolic move up. And now in this region here, what I believe we could be seeing is this same triangle pattern going across like this. Again, it's a bit like the first one, not particularly clear. We've seen this subsequent dump here, and we might see something a little bit like this where we actually just go sideways. That's not a bad thing. This is just playing in a similar way as to what we saw over here and the previous first time as well. But basically, after this has resolved, we see a slow bullish trend going into 2025, and then at some point we're going to see another parabolic move up. Now, of course, we want to know where the bottom of Crow is going to be. Have we actually already bottomed for 2025 with this drop down here, or are we going to see a further bottom? Now, what I like to do to kind of show me where we might see some supports along the way is draw along the Fibonacci levels. And at the moment, it seems like we've dropped below the 0.618 fib, but we've reclaimed it and now we're back above. So my first line of support here for Crow is basically for the price to not drop below this 15 cents level if we're going to continue this slow march up before that parabolic move that I'm saying. Of course, if we lose that 15 cents level, actually need to be more precise, more like 14.8 cents. If we lose that, then the next level down is looking at the 12.7 cents. That's the 0.5 fib, should be quite an important one. If we lose that again, then 11.1, 11.2 cents fib. But that is not all bad. If we do lose these levels, that's not a problem. We just keep looking at where we could see the next support on the Fibonacci levels, and this could be a base for where we see some buying, selling, that slow gradual incline, and then the next parabolic move up. So this is what I'm monitoring here with the Fibonacci levels. Of course, it's the parabolic move up that we want to catch. So we want to pay attention to where the prices are with respect to these Fibonacci levels. If we're close to a fib level, then it could be a good guess as to begin making a position here on Crow before we see something like this occur once again in 2025. Of course, because we are in that bull market now, this is going to be a parabolic pump similar to something we saw back over here. And if I need to remind you, this parabolic pump that we saw took Crow over 5x in price. Of course, there was an external factor to that as well. They'd had their debit cards where if you locked up a certain amount of Crow, you'd get a lot of benefits. So that obviously helped the price pump upwards. But there's going to be some event, whatever it is, that's going to trigger this parabolic move in 2025. And I do not want to be the person that misses that. So that is really what I'm looking for. Of course, talking about how high I think Crow can go in 2025, I do believe 50 cents is a good first target. Have a look at the 1.618 fib, very important Fibonacci level there. That is my first target here for Cronos, 50 cents on the price. That's roughly a 3x, and I do believe at the very least Crow is going to perform just as well as the general crypto market. Another chart that I do think is important to show you, I've already annotated it on here, is the total crypto market cap. This should give you more conviction in being bullish here on Crow, because of course the total crypto market cap has painted this beautiful cup and handle pattern over the 1 year chart. This is literally a 3-year formation of a cup there. Basically, we saw a lot of selling pressure to begin with from the 2021 ATH all the way down to the bottom there. A lot of buying and selling over the course of the few years. Then a gradual rise up to where we saw Bitcoin make its new all-time high. Of course, that was at the start of 2024. So that forms the resistance of the cup there. We saw this handle, which is a downwards consolidation on the price here over the total crypto market cap before seeing a convincing breakout, taking the market cap to above 3 trillion, above its previous all-time high. And therefore, the result of this cup and handle pattern should ultimately take the crypto market cap to at least 8.5 trillion. Now, that's about a 2.5x to where it currently stands, and how that reflects in Crow right now is roughly towards 50 cents. So this is why I think 50 cents is at least attainable here on Crow. Of course, if we can get to 50 cents quite quickly, ideally in Q1 2025, what we could see is something like this. So maybe that parabolic move already occurs in Q1 2025. We see some consolidation, a little bit of a summer slump as it is, and then in Q4 2025, Crow ideally wants to make its way towards all-time highs and higher. I do believe in Crow outside of just technicals as well. I do really like the company behind it, crypto.com. I think they're going to be one of the leaders this cycle. So if we are able to break past 50 cents, then my next target will be its previous all-time high at 95 cents. And ultimately, my price target that I'll be looking for at Crow in 2025 is $2, just short of it, because I do believe that it is able to at least double its previous all-time high. That makes Cronos roughly a 12 or 13x from where it is right now. So really exciting prospect here for longer term Crow holders. Of course, as more price information comes in throughout 2025, I'm going to be updating you guys. But at the end of the day, we've got to remember it is a bull market, and a lot of things that you took with you from the bear market, if you were here a few years ago, pumps were just treated with a lot more skepticism. The prices completely retraced the level of the pump, but now we're in bull market mode. We've got to be in a bull market mindset. It's going to pay a lot better if you are bullish than if you're bearish, in my opinion. And this is what I have on my sites here for Crow. Of course, let me know down in the comments what your thoughts are as well here on Cronos, if you're holding any Cronos, or what your price targets are. Otherwise, thank you guys so much again for watching, and see you guys in the next video.